What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City transfer update. We are rolling out daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout all of the summer transfer window for you guys to enjoy and look forward to. So if you haven't already, do subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. TikTok link also in the description if you want to go and follow me on there. Do let me know your thoughts, what you make of these transfers in the comments below. Do leave a thumbs up as well. 300 likes is the aim, so any help towards that will be much appreciated. So we're going to crack on with this video, and we're going to start off with the outs, and we've got an interesting development on Cole Palmer. Now, Alan Nixon over on Twitter, he says Burnley and Leicester City, they're both interested in taking Cole Palmer away from Manchester City, both looking at a loan deal. Manchester City, they feel that Cole Palmer is far too good for the Championship. There isn't too much for him to learn in the Championship and would rather loan him to the Premier League instead, which surely here is giving Burnley the advantage. Now, Burnley already have some great contacts at Manchester City. Manchester City legend Vincent Kompany in charge at Burnley plays a very nice passing Pep Guardiola style football at Burnley. Just sealed promotion from the Championship to the Premier League, so having another season now under their belt in the Premier League. And I think it'll be a really interesting move should Manchester City decide to loan Cole Palmer out to send him to Burnley. I think that'd be a really good option. I think he'll get plenty of minutes, plenty of starts. Will be a big learning experience for him. And Manchester City, from this point next year, will have a good idea about the level that Cole Palmer is at and what level he can hit and whether he will be good enough for Manchester City in the coming seasons. So that would be, to me, the ideal loan. I think the biggest problem you've got with Cole Palmer leaving Manchester City is it's pretty uncertain about what happens with Riyad Mahrez. If Riyad Mahrez leaves Manchester City, Cole Palmer leaves Manchester City, we don't know what's happening with Bernardo Silva. All of a sudden, Manchester City look very, very short with options out wide. And so Manchester City could choose to dip into the market. So it could be a case if Mahrez does leave, does Cole Palmer stay, or do Manchester City loan Cole Palmer out? And if that is the case, who are we going to bring in? Because if we bring somebody in, then surely that's going to mean that Cole Palmer, for the foreseeable future, for the coming 2 or 3 seasons, isn't really going to get a look in. So this is a very interesting situation that I will keep my eyes and ears open for. Leicester interested, Burnley interested. Are Manchester City going to choose to loan Cole Palmer? I think a lot depends on what happens with Riyad Mahrez. Now, moving on, we've got the very latest on Kyle Walker. Just a quick update on Kyle Walker. We all know what's happened over the last couple of days. If you are unaware, just go and check out my other transfer updates, speaking in full details about Kyle Walker. But they're pretty much big little bit of a summary. He's going to sit down with Manchester City this week, with Pep Guardiola this week. He's going to talk about his future, and he's going to make a decision on his future this week. And it's pretty much a situation of if he's going to stay at Manchester City, sign a new contract. If he's not going to stay at Manchester City, he's going to join Bayern Munich, and Manchester City could well dip into the market to find another defender, another replacement. We'll have to wait and see. We'll speak a little bit more about Kyle Walker when we get onto the segment speaking about Josko Gvardiol, because there's lots of things that are having a big domino effect here on Manchester City transfers. And speaking of domino effects, Riyad Mahrez, the very latest on him. Fabrizio Romano says Manchester City, they're still waiting for an approach to come from Ahli over in Saudi Arabia to sign Riyad Mahrez. I know there's been several rumours saying that a deal is close, etc., etc. Manchester City stands from the club. They've not had any approach. No bid has come in. So I don't think this deal is as advanced as what has been made out. But I certainly think this deal is progressing, and it is progressing pretty quickly as well. Now, Fabrizio Romano says that the big development here is Riyad Mahrez over the last few weeks has been saying he wants to stay at Manchester City, he wants to stay in European football. He still feels he's got a good couple of seasons left in him to showcase what he can do at the top end of European football. That now seems to have changed. Riyad Mahrez is prepared to accept personal terms with Ahli over in Saudi Arabia for him to go and join them. Now, Ahli are pushing really hard to try and make this transfer happen, and Ben Jacobs has added on to what Fabrizio Romano has said and said that Riyad Mahrez now has a full verbal agreement with Ahli to join them in terms of personal terms. So if that hurdle is sorted, it's all about Manchester City receiving written notice from Ahli with a submitted bid. No talks have been taking place between the two clubs, which is quite surprising. Normally you want to negotiate the fee. I imagine they'll come in with a bid. Manchester City will say yes or no and say, we're willing to accept that, and either Ahli will pay what Manchester City are asking for, or they'll try and negotiate the fee. So that's the next hurdle. Certainly this deal isn't anywhere near to being completed as of right now, but as I said, I think it's going to be a pretty fast developing transfer, and if Riyad Mahrez does leave Manchester City, it could be done rather quickly. I think the same will be said if Kyle Walker chooses to leave, because City are back in pre-season training from tomorrow, and Manchester City travel out to Far East Asia on Wednesday, and Man City will want the future sorted of Riyad Mahrez and Kyle Walker by then, so they know if they need to take them to Far East Asia or not, and they can go and sort out their futures from there instead. So we'll have to wait and see. I suspect we'll have more clarification on the future of Walker, on the future of Mahrez, potentially on the future of the likes of Aymeric Laporte and also João Cancelo as well over the coming days once City are back in pre-season training from tomorrow. So moving on to the ins, we're going to speak about Josko Gvardiol, and this literally is the update, because I know a few of you guys have been asking about Josko Gvardiol. What information have we got? What's happening? What's developing? What's causing this big, long delay in this transfer? Well, literally, I have no update on that. There has been no new information. There has been no developments. It is very quiet. And if you only just tuned in and you've only been paying attention for the last week or two, you would not think that Manchester City are in for Josko Gvardiol, because there is just nothing happening out there. Now, there could be lots of reasons out there, just pure speculation, but I suspect it's a whole manner of things just mixed into one. Leipzig are looking for a replacement. That's going to cause a delay. Manchester City, they may want to sell some players first, not so much for the financial rulings for Manchester City, but more just to try and free up a bit of space at centre-back. And we're going to go back into what I was saying with the domino effect. Kyle Walker decides to leave Manchester City, which could happen this week. All of a sudden, we've got a spot in our squad for Josko Gvardiol to come in to our defence, because we play with 4 centre-backs. Gvardiol is a centre-back. We don't play with full-backs. Are Man City going to be looking at full-backs? That's the big question. So what happens with João Cancelo? What happens with Aymeric Laporte? There's big knock-on effects, and I think Man City need clarification about what's happening with these players before we can add any players into our squad. And Man City's focus seems to be distracted away, and it's gone towards the outgoings and senior first team players potentially leaving the club rather than bringing players in. Once these players' futures have been sorted and they've either been sold or Manchester City have kept hold of these players, we'll have a better idea about Josko Gvardiol and other potential incomings for Manchester City. What I'm saying is this is going to be a very busy summer for Manchester City, both with outgoings and incomings as well. Now, there could be other reasons for Josko Gvardiol's delay here. Manchester City, I know, aren't happy with the price, £86 million. City are believed to be willing to pay just over £70 million. That's a big chunk of money to negotiate, over £15 million. Manchester City haven't opened up any other talks with RB Leipzig. I don't know when they're back in training. I don't know what Josko Gvardiol's doing. Last we heard, his bags were packed, he was ready to go to Manchester City, and then for the last 2 weeks, nothing. We've not heard anything. It could also be Manchester City wanting to push on. Are Man City looking at alternatives? Man City might not know what's happening. Who knows? As I said, all pure speculation. There's so many little reasons why this could be, and I feel like there's several reasons why Manchester City aren't pushing for Gvardiol right now, and I think it's just a mix of all them reasons that I've just said. And once we start to get clarification on one thing, it's going to have a domino effect on the next and the next and the next, and eventually things will fall into place and fall into line. I'm still very confident Gvardiol will be a Manchester City player. It's all about patience. Manchester City, I'm very confident when I say this, that fee of £86 million isn't going to be negotiated. If City want to sign Gvardiol, £86 million is what it's going to take. Could it involve swapping players? How they're going to break down this transfer, that remains to be seen. At the moment, RB Leipzig, they want £86 million. They don't want it spread over numerous amounts of years. They don't want it in achievable add-ons. They want 86 million quid. City want Gvardiol, pay £86 million, and we'll have Gvardiol. To me, very simple, straightforward transfer. Manchester City dragging their heels because they're wanting things sorting elsewhere with their team. And once we get that sorted, I think Gvardiol will happen. But that is just my opinion. Do let me know your thoughts on what you make of these transfers. in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim. Subscribe if you're new around here. Remember, daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout the whole summer transfer window to keep you guys up to date, first and fast on YouTube with all the latest Manchester City transfer news. So make sure you have subscribed if you haven't already. It is free. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. TikTok link also in the description if you want to go and follow me on there. And I'll see you guys religiously tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.